So I want you to ask yourself again, same questions as I began this program with. What is Donald Trump trying to hide? Why doesn't he want the Mueller investigation to continue? Why did he decline to impose new sanctions on Russia today as he had been ordered to do by Congress? What is going on here? Congressman Eric Swalwell is here. He is a California Democrat and a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
What's going on?
Well, in an effort to protect the president, the Republicans on the Intelligence Committee today went to great lengths to put out a discredited memo and then blocked the American people from seeing a mountain of evidence that not only rebuts their memo, but also shines a lot of credible evidence on the FBI's investigation.
Why is it discredited? Why do you say that?
Well, it's based on inaccurate facts that the Department of Justice has said would be dangerously reckless to put out to the public, but also...
Isn't it based on source documents, though?
No. I've read both memos, Don. This is nothing more than a brainwashing of the public to try and get them to believe that the FBI is working in a conspiracy against the Trump White House. It's not based on any fact, and the memo we would like the public to see not only discredits that, but again is a mountain of evidence that I think would have Americans very, very concerned.
So this is supposedly based on an underlying memo or a source document. Has Devin Nunes seen that document?
No. Isn't that alarming?
And he
acknowledged today that the document that he comments on in this memo that he wants the American people to believe has a discredited FBI, he hasn't even seen it. So he's submitting a book review to the American people on a book he's never read.
They shot down an opportunity to have the Nunes memo vetted by the FBI, by the Justice Department before they release it. Why didn't they do that?
Devin Nunes told us, again to our surprise today in the hearing, that the FBI and the Department of Justice are now under House Intelligence Committee investigation. Something that we had never heard of, but that they are now under investigation. This, again, seems to parallel what the president and conservative voices in the media are doing. They're attempting to torch every floor at the FBI building to protect this president, and it's going to have lasting effects on the rule of law in our country.
So there have been reports that the Nunes memo is in part focuses on the actions of the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein. Do you think that this is an attempt by Republicans to lay the groundwork to run Rod Rosenstein out of town?
Can't go into the contents of the memo. It'll probably be public soon because the president, it looks like, will put that out. But this is an effort to discredit Bob Mueller's investigation.
So the next step,
poisoning the well.
The next step would be if he's laying the groundwork to hit Rod Rosenstein, someone else comes in, they fire Mueller.
Well, I think if he is pushing people out, if the president's pushing people out because of the Russian investigation, that's obstruction of justice. That should come to the House Judiciary Committee immediately, and we need to find bipartisan support to finally hold this very, very dangerous president accountable.
I want you to speak plainly here, because Devin Nunes has been an ally of the president, worked for him before for the campaign. Plainly, what are his motivations, do you believe?
I can't speak to his motivations. I can just tell you his actions. It does not look like he left the transition team. Ever since James Comey told the Congress that the president's campaign was under criminal and counterintelligence investigations, he has worked hand in hand with the White House. He has sought to undermine our investigation and has obstructed our efforts to get to the bottom of what the Russians did. He's left our country and the work that he's done with the White House more vulnerable to another attack because we've done nothing to protect this country from another interference campaign.
You mentioned that there's a new investigation that was being launched by the House Republicans, against the FBI and the Department of Justice. Do you think this is to undermine the Department of Justice?
Yes.
Why launch an investigation into the FBI and the DOJ?
Again, to put more asterisks up there on the work that they're doing, to basically taint the opinion that the American people have as Bob Mueller makes more and more progress, so that if he does drop more indictments, people may say, oh, well, you know, Devin Nunes' memo says that you can't trust those guys. We're not going to believe it. Even if he raises just a specter of doubt in some people, that really will affect the work that they must do.
I want to ask you about the questions that I asked the audience in the beginning. And who knows how this investigation will turn out. What do you believe the president has to hide?
I believe that the president does not want us to know what his contacts were with Russia, the knowledge that he had about Russia's interference, the investments he did with Russia, and the actions that he took after the investigation was launched to really get rid of James Comey and any individual investigating him.
Thank you, Congressman.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate your time.
Of course.
Thank you so much. I want to bring in now